And welcome to Two Gray Goatees and a Whistle. I am joined with Coach T. He's back. Came on and decided to do an episode with me. We're going to kind of talk about what's going on in at Pendleton over in Eastern Oregon over there with the football going on, and we're going to have a discussion with them how the season's going and talk about the playoffs because high school is getting football at least is getting there at the end of the year. Only a few more weeks left for many schools. Same here in Idaho. They're in their last week before playoffs. And, Oregon looks like they're about 2 weeks out. So we're going to go ahead and talk to Coach T. And, man, how's it been?
It's good, man. Just thanks for having me on again. Always a pleasure to talk with you, my guy. It's always fun to get on here and chop it up real quick and talk sports and talk whatever topic you want that we bring up. It's always a good time. So thanks for having me.
Yeah. Hey, anytime, man. So let's talk about Pendleton, the Buckaroos, right? That's currently where you're coaching right now. You're one of the assistants over there.
Yep.
And looking at the season for the 2025, it looks like a rebuilding year. And I think this was something that we had talked about earlier that your guys, you're in that kind of in that younger stage of, you always get these rotations sometimes with high schools where, you might be top heavy with a senior class and stuff like that. And you lose a lot. And then, a lot of times you got a little more inexperience in there and it happens everywhere. I mean, just a matter of, sticking to it. And this year, I mean, obviously it looks like we're there as we're recording this right now. You guys are 1-6 overall, but 1-1 in league. So
Yes.
league ball just started up for you guys. It looks like you guys. So I'll lay it out what the teams we have. We have 5 teams in District 4, and it's Pendleton, LeGrand, Baker, the Dalles,
Yep.
and Ontario. And in every few years, you always see you get fluctuation of teams come in and out. But this year's teams in 4A, I guess they call it special District 5 is what they call it
Yeah.
now. And not the GOL or whatever they used to call it. They used to actually had names for all the leagues, and they've kind of changed that. It looks like they went away from that. So let's talk about it. So um, let's talk about how everything kind of started this year, and what have you been seeing from your team, from the boys?
Well, so I mean, this year is a different year, like you said. We were pretty top heavy last year with seniors, like 20, I think. It seemed like a ton of them, ton of cats that we graduated last year. And this year we have 5 seniors on the entire team. Like at one point in the game Friday night against the Dows, I looked out on the field, corner, freshman, other corner, sophomore, middle Mike linebacker, sophomore, uh, Willie Backer, a junior or sophomore, our one of our starting D linemen, freshman, and then we had to sub in for our running back, Tug McQuinn, freshman. And that's just where we're at. We're just that far down in like numbers wise, I guess you'd say it. And then some of the classes just aren't very deep. We have guys walking around in the building, but they're not out on the practice field, not with us. And so we've just been making do with what we had, and keeping kids motivated and trying to be out there playing. It's crazy to think that, we still have our destiny in our hands because the top 2 out of our league go to the playoffs. And so, it's basically going to come down to you're going to like this. It's going to come down to Pendleton, LeGrand in LeGrand on the 31st on Halloween. So
Halloween.
on Halloween to see if we're number 1 or there, because it just depends on how how everything plays out. But that's what we're thinking is it's going to be the big clash again over in LG and get to play LeGrand. And and it's crazy this year, Huddy, because excuse me, with our new rotation and everything, how they did the classifications and moved everybody around. Out of the 5, 3, 3 to the
So you
playoffs.
get
Can
3
you believe
teams.
that?
Wow,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
great.
So I mean,
Is that because I kind of look at it as what do we got here? So I know rankings come into a play, and the way
yeah,
OSA does rankings, at least they had in the past when I was there, it was a combination of you had the coaches poll, you had
uh,
max preps, and there
uh,
was the media poll, and they had their own formula where they took
yeah,
3 or 4 different pools, and they put them together, and they have their own system.
Hmm.
And, currently looking at the polls as of right now, you guys are 23rd,
Hmm.
and I the way they have it set up, they have RPI, OSA rankings, Collie rankings. They do all of that, and they take that system, they put it all together with, and then the OSA combines all that. So that's kind of how they do their system. So it's straight up 3 teams regardless of where they're ranked at. Is that kinda how they do it now over there?
I believe so. Like, so I think the number three probably out of ours is, gonna have to go see, because I think who's number one right now in the polls, is it Cascade or Marshfield? Might be number one. I think.
It's
I think the last time I
Cascades
looked, it was,
right now, Cascade is 1, and then Scappoose is
yeah,
2. Cascade's 1,
Caboose, yeah.
Scappoose is 2, and then, Marshfield is, 3rd.
Yeah. So I think the our three might have to go see number one or two, and we might have. I don't even know how it's gonna go. I just, but it's looking like we're gonna have to go see somebody. Another long road trip. We played Scappoose at the beginning of the year, and they put it on us. I don't think we were ready for they got a heck of a squad. They got a tough running back. Their team is good. Scappoose is a pretty good football program, and predominantly every year they're always good. Cade pretty tough too. They got some monsters on their squad. So at Marshfield, I'm not too familiar with Marshfield, but just this little bit I've seen. I mean, obviously they're number three, so it can't be too bad.
Yeah, so Marshfield overall, they're 7-0 right now, 3-0 in league. Cascade is same thing, they're 7-0, 2-0 in league. Scappoose does have 1 loss, and I'm assuming that must be a bigger school they lost to. So let me see here real quick. It looks
I think
like
so.
their their 1 loss was to Cascade,
Yeah,
and that was,
Cascade.
59-37 was that score. So that would've been one heck of a game to watch. So, at least Cascade and, uh, Scappoose have something going there. Also, Scappoose,
Yeah.
Derek Anderson. Know Derek Anderson? Remember him?
Oh
Yep,
yeah.
that's where he's from, man, Scappoose boy. He was the moose from Scappoose.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Wow, that's
So, yeah,
crazy.
him and Kellen Clemens. Kellen Clemens was out of Burns, and Kellen
Wow.
Clemens went to Oregon, Derek Anderson went to Oregon State, and they were ranked in, like, they were, like, some of the top quarterbacks coming out of Oregon that year, and those 2 were up there, and they
Pretty
each
cool.
stayed in Oregon. One went to be a duck, one went to be a beaver. So, yeah, but,
Right.
yeah,
That
so
seems like
going
a
back to you
storm
guys,
around here.
it looks like right now LeGrand, yeah, LeGrand's, right now they're 2-0 in league. They have still have to get through the Dalles, and it looks like they go to the Dalles
Yeah.
this weekend, and then, like they said, they're gonna finish up with you guys. They did play
Yeah.
Cascade this last week, and they got stomped. They got is
Yeah. They got it
51 to
put on.
7.
They got it.
They got put on pretty
Yeah.
good, yeah.
Yeah.
They do
Cascade
have
is
league
good.
wins. They've beaten Ontario, and then they took care of business and beat the crap out of Baker. So still wide open. Who's going to get that number 1 seed in district? You guys got Ontario this week, correct?
Yeah. Ontario comes to us on Friday, and they've got a decent team. They might be in the same, maybe a little bit behind us in the whole rebuilding process, because their quarterback last year was a pretty good player. They had a couple of receivers, couple of athletes on their squad, and then just from watching them on tape, from what I've seen, you know, it's so crazy, because realistically, we talk about it. We're playing a varsity schedule with a lot of guys that would our JV would be dominant if we had enough dudes to just let the younger kids play down and play JV. We'd have a pretty dominant JV, but we don't. We just don't have that this year. So a lot of those kids are getting opportunity now. The future looks bright. It just right now we just have to be able to keep the kids positive, keep the morale up, and everybody, because when you go 0-6, guys start falling off. They start getting ready for basketball season. Being that open gyms have started, and I think open mat might have been going on for wrestling right now. Guys start, dwindling and wandering away, and but our kids have been vigilant. They're strong, stayed the focus, trust the process, and we preach that all the time. That you got to stick with it. Let's finish this thing. We started it. Let's go ahead and finish it, and let's make noise. And all we look for is a win every Friday. Let's take it one game at a time. And it's just crazy to think that we can still go to the playoffs after starting 0-6.
Yeah, and I think about over here in Idaho, and you were over here when there
Yeah.
was Wendell and Declo. Those are the only 2 teams, and the way they had it structured was they were guaranteed at least 2 teams, and
Yeah.
they've changed that now. It's more on based off of rankings and stuff like that. So, they kinda tried to
Hmm.
eliminate some of that, so you weren't getting these teams that had, losing records. Like I said, when I played my senior year, we had a losing record overall. I think we were 3-5, but we were 3-3 in conference. And so we took the 3rd seed, we
Hmm.
won the 1st round, lost in the 2nd round, but, so sometimes I think records can be a little deceptive a little bit in high school a little bit because if you're in a tough conference, sometimes that comes into play, and then there's sometimes where the team really is just not that good that year because of, whatever um, young players. And so that comes also really, I think, difficult really to develop when you got to thrust some of these guys into a varsity thing, and you hope mentally they're tough enough to make through it, like you talk about trying to keep their morale and everything. So as a coach, and if you can do that and keep your kids bought into the system, even when things are going rough, I mean, that takes talent right there, I think.
Yeah, for sure. Our coaching staff we got, it's weird, Huddy, like coming from Gooding to Pendleton, it's almost the same thing. We have 10, 11 coaches, almost every
You do.
position has a coach. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
It is crazy. Know, I coach safeties. The guy that coaches corners played at Western. He's our corners coach. I'm also a special teams coordinator. Our linebacker coach was the head wrestling coach at our school, Fred Phillips. He's a Hall of Fame wrestling coach here in Oregon. He's had all state, all league players almost his whole career here. Had dudes. Our D line coach is Ron Murphy. He's our head men's basketball coach at Pendleton. Our O line coach is Josh Linehan, played at Oregon State, 2-time All American up there. Our quarterback coach is obviously Eric Davis, played with him at Boise State, and then he's a Hall of Famer at Western Oregon. Our receivers coach is Aaron Schmidt. Schmidt was like he has records still at Lewis and Clark. He was a receiver there. He's from Oswego. He was a stud high school player, and then went on to college. Has records up at like I said at Lewis and Clark. So I mean, it's crazy to have that many dudes in a small town. And we've been trying to figure out ways to keep the kids like we brought a speaker out and there's music playing and it's hyped and we try to keep it short now. There's no real reason to grind them out anymore. We go in, we're trying to get concise and be sharp with our practices, and we don't have to be out there very long if the kids are taking care of business. And last week we had one of probably the best practices we've had all year. And then transfers to the field, we put it on the Dows. So hopefully we keep that going and all the way through, and then trust the process, and then it's going to be what it's going to be, right? We're going to see who we're going to see, and then we're going to have to, you know, anything can happen at any night. That's the great thing about high school football.
Yes. Yeah, totally. Yeah, and have them that opportunity and those resources to have all that knowledge there, and being able, because you got a wrestling coach, you got a basketball coach.
Yeah. Yep.
Both those, know their season's coming up, and I'm sure in one way, yeah, they want to do their thing, but
Hmm.
having them there on staff, I think that really keeps those kids in check, saying, "Hey, this is fall. Let's take care of business here first," and
Yeah.
some places you don't get that, and you know,
No.
and it's one of those battles you happen sometimes within schools where they're wanting their kids and they're having open gym, and you try not to create conflict, but sometimes that happens, especially like you said, when you start, things aren't going well, and you're losing that focus, and it's like I said, it's if you're able to do that and you're able to pull things together, because I've always said it's not how you start, it's how you finish. And if you can finish strong, especially with league and everything, it's going to be that set you up for next year, building off that success. So, let's,
Yeah. No.
that's a good thing. So Ontario, looking at their record, I'm looking at their games. I was looking at their coaching staff, and they got a decent amount of coaches, and they don't list their JV coaches. Some of these they do
Hmm.
list their JV. So I'm assuming they, their coaching staff but their 1 wins against Mac High, and
Yeah,
Mac High, I believe, must be 3A now or something because they're not in the same league. They used to be the same league as LeGrand, and they must have dropped. But
yeah, they did.
lost to Burns, lost to Vale, lost to Ashland,
3-2.
shut out by LeGrand. Dallas beat them. Baker beat them. One of the more competitive games. Obviously, don't want to overlook them, but I think it's one of these situations. If you guys stay focused, it looks like you guys will be in a good situation to pull out a win. And
Yeah,
then that's it
I
for
think
them.
we're
They're done with their regular season. They do have one more non-conference game after that against Staten. It looks like,
yeah.
and then 2 weeks from now, we're recording this is obviously when people hear this will be about that time again. But let's look at LeGrand. LeGrand, it looks like the way their season's gone. They've won 3 games and they've lost 4. So they won at Seaside, lost to Vale, lost to Tillamook, and it looks like a fairly close game. Lost to Burns. So Burns and Vale must be having good seasons in
Dude,
there.
I'm telling you what, we saw those cats at camp at Western. They're 3As,
Yeah.
right? I believe. Right? Man,
Was it both of them? Was it Vale and on Burns,
yeah,
or is
yeah. I
this
think
one
they
of
were
the?
both up there. No,
They
I
were
think
both
we
there.
saw
You saw Vale.
Vale for sure.
Yeah. Vale
Legit,
has
bro.
history, dude. Vale has history. They even got they have even got a Hall of Famer, NFL Hall of Famer that went there.
That's
So
crazy.
Wilcox played for San Francisco. Yeah, so
Wow.
Vale's has a really good history in football.
Yeah, they were about it, man. At
Burns,
camp, they were bringing it. They were bringing
well,
them. They were bringing the heat, man. I'm telling you, our dudes were like, "What is going on?"
yeah, yeah. Vale has always been really good. Burns has had some good years. So, and it looks like they beat Baker a couple weeks ago. They took
Yep.
beat them pretty good, and then they went to Cascade and they got it handed to them. So they are at the Dalles, and then they finish off home to you guys. So it really could be that really could right there could be it. Depending
Hmm.
how these next 2 weeks shake out, could determine where you guys are at for the playoffs. I mean, ideally, you can get that home game. That'd be great.
Yeah.
But you know, like anything else, take care of business this week, right?
Right. Yeah. We're just focused on that. I mean, obviously, one of our that's probably our biggest rivalry is LG. Because there's a lot of connections. It's only 45 minutes away. A lot of people from our town, from what I understand, being a new guy here, only being here 5 or 6 years. But there's a lot of connections between LG and Pendleton. So, lots of every time we play them in sports, no matter what it is, there's some. It's for real. It's a real thing. The
It's it's
rivalry is
it's
real.
a history, and I can say,
Mhm.
yeah,
You know,
love
you're
you,
an
man.
LG
But
cat.
seeing you wearing that P, just like God dang good. But yeah, so but no, yeah, Pendleton is had they've in Legrand that went away. Legrand dropped in a few years
Hmm.
after I graduated, and so that rivalry kind of went away for a while. But when reclassification happened here a while ago, like what 4 or 5 years ago, I think is when they finally got back in the same league with each other. So looking at the past 2 years with this conference, if I go back to we look at what was it? So basically, how it works is you get 16 teams get
Hmm.
in there, automatic bids. This year, it's usually 3 automatic bids. And so I think maybe it's District 1, District 5. I kind of wonder if you guys swap. So, anyways,
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not
so
exactly sure on all that,
looking
to be
at,
honest. With
yeah. So looking at the 2023 year, so let's look back 2 years ago.
you. Hmm.
Baker was 5-0, 7-3 overall. And it looked like Crook County and Madras were in that league at the time. And
Yeah.
this is all going off ChatGPT, and I'm guessing that's what they got. Pendleton was in second. They had a 7-3 record. Uh, both teams lost in the first round. Baker lost to Junction City. Pendleton lost to Mazama. Crook County
Hmm.
qualified, and they lost to Marist. Um, and then Ontario, Legrand, then Madras. 2024 came around. You guys took first last year. Is that what I got?
Yeah.
and then looks like you
No, I want to
guys,
think so. Maybe I can't remember.
yeah. I'm I don't know if these are exactly in order, but they're showing that you, LeGrand, and Kirk County qualified. Yeah, and so go off your memory if anything like that's not right. So it looks like
Yeah,
you
yeah, because
guys
we
won the
hosted
first
on the
round.
first round. Yeah, yeah. We
Yeah,
beat Staten,
Malala. Yeah, and
but we didn't play.
then lost to Cascade last year. Was it
Yes,
Cascade?
correct.
No.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
lost Cascade.
yeah. In the second round, and then
Yep.
LeGrand looks like they lost in the first round to Plymouth, and then
Mhm.
Kirk County lost to Tillamook. Baker,
Mhm.
Ontario didn't qualify that year, and then this year it looks like they you know it looks like now the Dalles has replaced. Looks like the Dalles replaced Kirk County.
Yeah,
So
Cook County went up to 5A because they're growing, and we got the Dalles plus location. It was, distance wise travel that's not as far as everywhere else, and then
yeah,
just the other two.
that was league for us though. That's what's crazy is that when I played when it was IMC and we had I think there were 7 teams, 7 or 8
Hmm.
teams, and then I think there were 7 teams. Yeah, Bend and
Yeah,
Mountain View were in our league. Redmond was in our league, and so was Kirk County. And then Pendleton and Hermiston were our next. Pendleton obviously was the closest at the time, but yeah. Oh, yeah. That's the good things can happen here in the next couple of weeks. Obviously, keep plugging. Anything you want to add? What's going on in Pendleton before I move on to talk a little bit about basketball?
nothing, man. We just, against Baker, we got hurt. We lost our starting center, so now we have a younger kid. The backup is our starting center, and we're still getting used to that. We lost the stud corner. I think he's a sophomore or junior. He plays also was our starting receiver, broke his wrist in the game, and we were up, on Baker 21 to nothing at half, and then the wheel, like people, I think we got a little bit comfortable, if you know what I'm saying, and we didn't keep our foot on the gas and kind of let up and let them hang around, and then we go to overtime and lose 27-21, when we should have just been taking care of business and finished. And so we got our running back. Our center is he's getting better. Yeah, I think we're in our kids are bought in and they're about it, and it's a good feeling to be around, because I mean, like I said, it could easily go the other way where kids are like, ready to turn their gear in. Oh, it's too cold, I can't make it practice. I got a cold. Mom said I can't go to
Right.
practice, and then we wind up here and there at wrestling, or we wind up here and there at basketball. We're not, but we don't have any of that. We have guys that are out there ready to grind, and so it makes it good. But yeah, and so we're just
All
gonna
right.
this week we're gonna knock it out again and stay focused and dial them up, and then play the game Friday night, and the football gods are gonna make it what it is, and hopefully it comes out with a Buckaroo win.
Yeah. Best of luck to you.
Thank you.
Let's shift it a little bit. So basketball.
Yeah.
Let's look at Blue Mountain real quick. I'm sure that's workouts and everything's getting ready as the season gets close to going. Anything you want to say about what's going on that front?
Man, I'm excited about this year. I mean, I'm excited every year because, it's another opportunity to coach some really good players. We got some good recruits in. We picked up Amaya DeFairs from Bora High School, and her dad was a former Boise State Bronco. We picked up a gal from Meridian, Taimani Tatogi, and her dad, he was a football player. He played guard at Boise State. Married to a guy, one of my best friends, like family to me. His sister, his fraternal twin sister, and I've known the family forever. Actually, Amaya's head coach, Ebony Norman, is the head coach for the women's program. Took her team to the playoffs last year in her second or third year as the head coach at Bora, in the tough conference there in the valley. When I contacted her about Amaya, she was like, well, no one's really talked to her, and then we got her here, and she's going to be good. And then some of the returning players we have are really good. Jill Harris, I can't remember. She's from Washington, some small town in Washington. I can't remember what it's called, but I feel bad because I can't remember what it's called. But she was hurt last year. She got a medical red shirt. She's back. We have Haley Taylor, who's from Northern Idaho, another little good guard. We're going to be small. We have Ella Stewart from Nixie, from the native school. She's dangerous, man. She can knock it down from anywhere on the court. She can play inside and out. We got a gal named Riley Tucker, I think your last name is. I can't believe I don't know their names. I just know them by their first names, so that's what I like to call them, you know. And we just been working like it's crazy. My schedule goes, I go to work at 7 o'clock in the morning, football practice at 3 till 5, 6 to 8, I go coach basketball, and I go back to work till like 1, 2 in the morning most nights. And then that's the grind it is because we're in preseason, and I'm the strength and conditioning coach for the women's program up there, plus being an assistant basketball coach. So it's busy all the time. And we've got a bunch of other Leah Wilson, who's a local kid from Pendleton. Got a few really good walk-ons. Atira Moore, who another girl, she's from Nampa High. She's quick as man. She's so quick. Good finisher, can shoot outside. So we're gonna be an up tempo team, and we're just gonna go try to run people in the ground because most teams that we find that we play in the NWAC, I don't know how they do it, but they find these girls that are like 6 plus, 6 foot plus, you know, and we can't seem to find any. Every time we talk to them, someone poaches them before we can get them locked in. So we're just gonna go up tempo and try to run people into the ground, and it's gonna be an exciting year. I think we're gonna do well. The goal is to make the tournament this year, and I think we got a really good shot at it. The head coach, Adam Driver's a great coach. Been fun working for him for 5 years, and we're just gonna go out there and compete, man. See what happens.
Good. So, how was let's talk about recruiting a little bit. So, to me, it's like sounds like it's about networking. Obviously, I think right there you brought up 2 players you get in because of, I think your connection from Boise State being there
Hmm.
and knowing some of the players. So, when you're out there trying to recruit, what's some of the strategies you guys use to try to get the players to come to you?
It's tough, Huddy, because in our conferences, CBC, we have Walla. They've been predominantly both of those schools are an hour away to the Tri for CBC, and then almost the same 45, almost an hour to Walla Walla. Walla Walla's been Bobby's a pretty good coach over there in Walla Walla, predominantly in the tournament. Won it last year, I think. CBC did pretty good last year, had really dominant players, and they have a brand new, they have like a gym that has 3 gyms in it. We have a gym that we have to share with everybody, our facilities. It's just hard. You got to sell it. Like you got to really I tell them, I'm honest with them because I don't want to, smoke and mirrors and the kid get here and be like, what coach you said we had all this
We're
cool
talking
stuff.
about
And when that we want to
right.
make sure they come here and check it out before they make their decision. And that's normally how it goes. They go on the run, excuse me, they come off of I-84 wherever they're coming from, either go to Walla Walla, come through Pendleton, go to CBC in the Tri-Cities, or just make their decision from there. And we just tell them, we're just honest. We're just like, we're going to teach you to be a good basketball player. We play, like I said, up tempo, and we don't have, I don't know how to explain it. We don't have very many sets. We play off of flow. So we teach them to take advantage of the defense. If they're in the wrong spot, we have counters and things that we do just out of the flow of the game that make it so they're wrong. So if they want to, shift over to the side of the ball and leave that backside person playing 2 on the backside, we've got ways of getting the ball to that side so we can attack them by attacking the rim first. And then when the D collapses, we're looking for kickouts, next pass, whatever it may be, or hard drives to the basket to draw defense and work off of that. So, and then recruiting wise, I just tell them, I'm honest with them. I tell them, hey, come here, check it out. We're going to make you a good basketball player, the best we can with what we have. And we're going to go out there and we're going to compete and you're going to get to play, like you could go other places, you could sit and watch, or you can come here and you can play right now. But, and it's hard, man, because like, what do you, like the Tri-Cities is the bigger, it's the Tri-Cities, you're competing with that and new facilities and this, that, and the other. And Walla Walla is a little bigger, and, you bring them to Pendleton and like, well, there's, because you got to be careful what you
You got the
say,
roundup.
obviously, because you can't. Well, that's what I was going to say. There's a couple events that happen, but you really don't want to push those because you know what I'm saying. They're young
Right.
adults yet; they're not ready for that level
Yeah.
yet. So
Right.
but we do talk about that, about the roundup, and if you want to go camping, it's 15, 20 minutes away. You're in the mountains, and there's a river that runs through. There's a lot of cool things that go on in the community. Having the tribe close to us. There's a lot of diversity and culture, and so it's a great experience. But most of the girls we get here they really want to come and be better basketball players, and that's what we're here for, is to get them ready for the next level if that's what they want to do, or just get their schooling out of the way and then go on and just be good students and go on to a university. We'd like it so that their next step would be playing at a 4 year if that's what they choose. And we've sent some girls. We've had a girl that came from here that went to Oregon. That was a couple years before me. We have a girl right now at Douglas. We've sent them to Multnomah. We have a girl in Arizona at a Christian school in Arizona that played last year, one of our guards. So I mean, girls come out here, which it's there's not, and it's hard too because like TBC has housing for their girls. We don't have that. They have to find their own apartments and stuff like that. So sometimes it makes it hard, but if they really want to come, they do. And we've got some pretty good ones in here right now in our gym. And I think we're gonna make some noise this year. We're gonna surprise some people.
It's good. Good to hear. So, when does season start for basketball for girls there at BBC?
Dude, we
Savannah?
actually have a scrimmage on the next Saturday at 1 o'clock is our first game type situation. Then I want to say we have another tournament the very December 1st. I think the first December 1st we leave the day before, and we're going to go, I think, going up to Eugene. I think we're going to go play Lane, just like a preseason game. And I think that's when it starts pretty much, is like we're going to start hitting it up and start playing games. And Lane's always tough, man. They're in Eugene. They've always got really, really good players. They're right there next to you. So,
Yep.
those guys,
Yeah.
those guys.
Yep.
So
So, hey, good stuff, man. So, let's shift gears a little bit. If you notice,
I see the bananas,
yeah,
man. I'm
bananas,
so excited.
big news. This came out last week or 2 weeks ago. The bananas, Savannah Bananas. Anybody doesn't know, you have to be living under a rock. But this phenomenon that's been happening, it's a different alternative style of baseball that's been going on, and over the past 2 3 years, it's grown exponentially, selling out ballparks, major league ballparks. Last year, the Savannah Bananas started going to college football places like Clemson and Auburn, and they're selling out
Hmm.
these places. And they, over the past few years, they've been adding teams so they can get to more areas. It's not necessarily the Savannah Bananas, but you had the Party Animals, which were the two original programs.
Hmm.
So anybody that doesn't know what banana ball is, it's baseball, but it's, to me, fun. Or I
Oh,
mean,
for sure.
it's interesting, and you still have your traditionalists that are very like, they don't like it, but there is so much going on, and a lot of people compare it to the Globetrotters, which it's not. I mean, it is for the entertainment value, but I can tell you it's not scripted. I mean, the games are competitive and they play to win, and they keep track of their records and stuff like that. And this year was the first year because they had four teams. They actually had a four-team playoff, and I want to say the Party Animals finished season number one. Bananas were two. The Firefighters, which team came out last year, and then the newer team this year was the Texas Tailgaters. And actually, the Party Animals end up winning it, but the Savannah Bananas, who were the 2 seed, played the 3 seed. Firefighters won, and they went on. So it's not scripted. The actual game itself is not scripted. All of the dancing and all that stuff and the props and everything that goes with that, that's all scripted. They'll say, hey, okay, first inning, we're going to make sure we come out and we do this. When they bring out celebrities or former athletes, whatever, to come out and play, that's all part of it. The script is kind of scripted, but the game itself isn't. And that's what makes it kind of unique. And my first experience was 2 years ago. Me and Gonzo and the wives went down to Vegas. We watched them and had a blast, and very family oriented. That was after the game. They are signing autographs. They usually stay like an hour and a half, like after the game, taking pictures with fans, signing autographs, and stuff like that. And the tickets don't cost that much. And the reason I'm saying this is that because there are scammers out there and people resell tickets to like triple to
Mm.
quadruple the price. But they are 35 to $40. This year, I think it's supposed to be about the same, but that's all they cost. That's including taxes and everything. They pick up basically they pay the whatever state tax it is. So when you buy any product from like this shirt, this hat, there's no taxes added to it because they pay for the taxes. But when it says it's $35, you're paying $35. There's no ticket master $10 fee and a $20 fee and a $15 fee just because you've clicked on the link type of thing. It's straight up $35 or it's $40. There are packages where you can get VIP and it's might run around $100, but that also gets you into the game. You get to go onto the field, talk to the players like beforehand on the field, more of a inclusive type of thing. But it's a fantastic thing. And not this summer, the summer before, they were in Salt Lake. We went both nights for that. Same thing, was a lot of fun. So the reason I'm saying that is they added 2 more teams this year. The Coconuts, I think they're called the Island Park Coconuts, I believe. So the Coconuts are a team that's got started. So it's a whole island theme. So, Polynesian type of culture, stuff like that. They have like these guys coming out and doing their dance. Then the Indianapolis Clowns was the other team. The history behind the Indianapolis Clowns, this team that's getting started, they were one of the original, before the Banana Ball was the Banana Ball, you had the Indianapolis Clowns. The Clowns were from the Negro League. So when they had the Negro League, the Indianapolis Clowns were doing this entertainment stuff, this little trick, a lot of tricks and stuff like that. Hank Aaron played for these guys. I want to say Cecil Page at one time played for these guys too. So they thought that this is hey, we're gonna play tribute to this. So that the 2 new teams they brought were the Coconuts and the Clowns. So the Indianapolis Clowns is the other one. So now there are 6 teams. Now they're everywhere. They're hitting up a bunch of towns, and one of the biggest void usually was the Northwest in particular. Salt Lake, was the closest they got here. Like I said, Vegas this summer, just the season ending, they did go to Seattle, played up at Safeco. So it's finally getting this way. This next season, the 2026 season, Washington, Tacoma is getting to see Banana Ball. Eugene, Oregon at Autzen is going to
cool.
get them. Salt Lake Cities, if they're going back to Salt Lake, Billings, Montana is going to get it. And Boise, Idaho, playing on the blue.
Let's go.
Yeah, so yeah, cool. So I thought I saw that, and it was crazy because I was watching a soccer game at the local high school here, and I had the phone on because they do this whole big reveal thing. And anyways, as soon as I turn it on and I'm watching it, they always, they put on a big show. It's like an hour and a half, whatever, bringing out new teams, who they're playing, and these party animals ripped off their shirts and it said Boise. And so I was just like, awesome. Oh my gosh, they're coming to Boise. So
I know
it's gonna happen July 1st and the 1st. So yeah. So how much? What about you, man? What do you think about the Banana Ball?
I think it's pretty cool, man. I like this fact that it's also interactive because I was reading up on it. I mean, I've watched their clips and stuff on social media, and I like how the entertainment side of it. But I mean, they're actually playing, like you said, playing baseball too. I saw a part in there. It's interactive for the crowd because if you catch a ball, right, it counts as an out if you can catch it. Is that correct?
You were out, yes.
Yeah,
if you catch a foul ball, batter's out. So the year we went to Vegas, there was this kid who caught a foul ball. He was probably some 16, 17-year-old kid. They celebrate. They bring that fan onto the field. I don't know if they can do this in the bigger stadiums, but they're in Las Vegas. They get the fan. They bring him onto the field. They celebrate with the fan. Like, good now?
That's awesome. Yeah, we're good now.
All right.
That's way cool, man. I think that's pretty exciting for the fans because you get to be involved with, other than just sitting there and watching the game,
Yeah, and that was so Jesse Cole is the founder of this. He's the owner of the Bananas. Him and his wife got this going. And their philosophy was very much, how can we keep fans in the seat? And because when it's just like a lot of things, you get a blowout game, fans leave. Doesn't matter what sport is.
Yep.
Baseball's no different. Eighth inning, score is 10-1. We're not going to stay. We're going to leave. So they wanted to make it so it's different. It's kind of set up kind of like how they do point systems and like tennis, like you win that set. So
Mhm.
every inning is a walk off. So it's set up that way too. So it doesn't matter if you scored 8 runs. If the other team scores 9 runs, they get a point. And then so each inning you get a point, and then at the end it's who the winner is.
That's
So
cool.
there's a lot of other stuff. We weren't able to go last year. I was able to let a family go who I knew. I wanted one of my former students, huge baseball fan, and I wanted him to experience it. So they went to Colorado, went to the game. He got to between innings, he got to throw a catch with Jackson Olsen, who's one of the stars of the Bananas. If you ever look up Jackson Olsen,
Mhm.
so they do, and these guys are dudes. They're athletic, and a lot of these guys,
Oh yeah.
majority of these guys, have played at the professional level. They've been drafted. They've been in the farm systems and stuff like that. So they're definitely good. Now, I am going to give out a piece of advice for people out there who are trying to get tickets. Tickets cost 35 or $40. If you are on any site, even right now, and they're saying, "Hey, we got tickets for the game," it's bogus because nothing's been released yet. They have a lottery system set up. You have until October 1st to get on the wait list. So what you do is you go to their site. They have a lottery thing you can sign up for. You go on there, doesn't cost anything. Put in your information, and you choose what city you want to go to. You do that, boom, you're in, and that's it. You don't get to choose another city. It's once you're locked in for that town, that's where you go. So the way the lottery works is that in the past, what they do is it's random. It has nothing to do whether you signed up on August 15th or not August 15th, on October 15th or October 31st. It's straight up random. And what happens is they will send you emails when you get closer to that time. And it's usually about 2 months out from that game. So, for instance, the Boise game is July 31st on August 1st. So, probably uh, it's going to be like May 31st ish when people will start hearing about it. They'll send out emails saying, "Hey, this is coming up." You'll get an email saying this day at this certain time is when tickets go on sale. And you can go up and you can buy up to 5 tickets for that game. The other way you can get on is be K Club member, and you pay, it's $59. It is a wait list for that too. We were lucky. We kind of got in before the popularity really soared. So we're actually K Club members, and you actually get 6 tickets per game. And you can go to all the games if you want, up to 6 tickets. So like we did a couple years ago, we went and saw Salt Lake both nights. So we're going to have our opportunity to go see Boise, which is great because they're only an hour and 20 minutes away versus 4 hours or 8 hours. So, or 10.
Yeah. Thanks for reminding me.
So yeah, just letting you know, hey, you're not that far away. So, I mean, it's really, I
No.
mean, what you got a 5 hour trip. Is that roughly
Uh,
how far it is?
no, it's just to it's like 3.5 hours because like back in the day when we come up here from Gooding, it was 5 hours. So just with the speed change, because 70 to 80
Yeah, you
miles
can
an
travel.
hour, yeah, you can get
Yeah.
going, and it's a straight shot.
So,
That's what's nice. We don't have to come off
yeah.
anywhere else. We come right on I-84.
Yeah. So, yeah, you're in a location too. You got not only Boise, but Eugene and Tacoma. I
Oh
mean,
yeah,
obviously Eugene's a little bit further, but
that's
watching the
like
game at
six.
Autzen would be pretty cool.
Oh yeah,
So,
I'm sure we'll go. I'm sure we're gonna go. I know we're gonna. I
yeah,
told Jamie, I was like, that would be sweet. Let's go to the Bananas, and she's like, I know. Let's go watch it. Let's go take the kids. It'd be
yeah,
fun.
yeah. So if you haven't got on the wait list, do that. And anybody else out there listening, if you plan on going somewhere to watch these people, go watch them. Use the lottery system. Do not fall for resells and scams. I'm telling you, these tickets sometimes they'll put them out for $300. A $35 ticket you'll see up for like $300. And I can tell you, if anything's out there like now like that, it is garbage. Don't do it. So my recommendation, uh, wait to see how the system rolls out. If you happen to know somebody who, you know, is in a K Club member, you know, a lot of times they can hook you up because they don't always use the tickets. So, you know, and you
Is
know,
Huddy,
bigger
is
stadiums
that
usually cost a little bit
$59?
more. It's usually $40. What?
Is that 50? Is that $59? Is that like an annual thing to be a K Club member, or
It's
is
an
it just like
annual
a one
thing, yeah.
time?
And
Okay, okay,
usually what happens is they send you a lanyard and stuff like that, and you have your own line to get in. So last
gotcha.
when we went up to Salt Lake, we had our own little line that was a little quicker to get in.
Nice.
K Club members, they get to be in a different line than the general public. And it's they've really changed it because our first year we were there, it was you seat wherever you wanted to. And so it was pretty much wherever you can find a
First come,
seat.
first serve.
And yeah, first come, first serve. And we got pretty good seats that first year in Vegas. We were kind of in between the backstop and the banana side of the dugout, about 4 or 5 rows up, great seating. They changed that because there was getting, just like anything else, you get people that ruin it for everybody else, like
Sure.
saving seats. And people are like, dude, no, nobody's sitting here. And so they decided to go to an actual seating system. So when we went to Salt Lake, we still had great seats. We were behind the dugout and stuff like that, or behind the backstop. So we were in great seating. When we had tickets to go this last season to Denver, though, we were going to be like out in right field, which at Colorado, if anybody's ever been to Colorado, the Coors Field, it's a beautiful stadium. I mean, unfortunately, the Rockies have been dog crap for a while, but they have a beautiful
Mm,
stadium. But anyways, so I'm kind of curious to see how they set up the blue and the seating and stuff like that. That'll be kind of interesting
that's what I was
because it
wondering.
is
I
a
was
football
wondering how they,
stadium.
yeah, how are they going to put a baseball field on the blue? But I'm
Well,
sure they'll
like I
make it
said, they
work.
did it for Clemson and they did it for Auburn, and this year they're hitting like 4 or 5 other college stadiums. So it's obviously they must have it down, the logistics, how they're going to do it. So it should be fun,
Pretty exciting.
and I'll definitely keep you in mind when we get down to tickets and stuff
Oh
like
yeah,
that, and try to make sure
that,
we'll see if we can work something out. I got to figure out uh, the one family that was supposed to go with us last year that couldn't go. We got them at least going to the one of the games, and then um, I know I think I got the family going to the other one, but like I said, I might have a few extra tickets, so I'll keep you in mind.
heck yeah, that'd be awesome, man. Because I know
Yeah,
we're going
I'll
to
try
try
to
to
hook
get
you up.
some anyway.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's I honestly I want everybody to be able to experience this, and if I can let people experience it, because I think it's family friendly. It can be overwhelming for some people. Like my brother-in-law, he had a hard time just because there's so much going on. It was like too overwhelming for him. But because you got a lot of stuff going in between innings, players will be up in the stands. You'll be turned around right next to you, and you got one of the baseball players right there next to you. They're doing something. So they always got something going on. But it's some of the most fun I've ever had at any kind of sporting event. I would have to say the Bananas are up there as the top. So, all right, we got one more segment. You know it.
Do it. Yeah.
Let's do it.
What do we
Let's
got?
figure
What do we
out where
got?
we're
What do we got?
going. We're going to actually, since I'm talking about Savannah, Georgia, we're going to go to Georgia for the mascot of the week. All right. So we're
Man,
taking you to Cairo, Georgia, population of 10,000. It's a agriculture, food processing place. Cane sugar, big cane sugar syrup is big. The Roddenberry family has uh, cane syrup is a big thing. Came into named the city Syrup City because of the industry. Looking at the history of it, it looks like it came Georgia cane syrup was 1889. It was the major employer for the area. So the lore is that the Roddenberry plant workers brought rain slickers to a team during a storm, and the nickname of the school stuck. Have any guesses of what the name of the team is? Want to take a guess? What do you think?
Man, maybe the Slickers.
Okay,
Yeah, I'm
not a
gonna go with
bad guess.
Slickers.
Let's think of
Slickers.
Tillamook. Okay, so we did one in Tillamook, Oregon. What is the Tillamook's mascot? Remember Tillamook, Oregon?
Are they the Muckers? Is that them? Is that those
No,
guys?
no,
No,
no, no.
I'm thinking of Virginia
That was actually
City.
you're thinking of Tonopah. So that was
Uh,
Muckers. So Tillamook was the cheesemakers.
yes, yes, yes,
Okay,
yes.
Tillamook because of the Tillamook cheesemakers. So
Right. I should have known.
Cairo
Love the
High
cheese.
School is the syrup makers. They are the
Nice.
syrup makers of the syrup city. So the way that went was that the plant workers brought in some rain slickers for the team during a storm, and the people around said, "Hey, they look like you got a bunch of plant workers on the field." So the name stuck. The boys are called the syrup makers, and the girls' teams are called the syrup maids to reflect the
Mm.
identity of the difference there. Cairo High School has about students. Notable accomplishments was the 3A state champions in 2008. They went a perfect 14-0 that year. They have a lot of regional titles under their legendary coach Tom Fallow. Their track and field boys won a bunch of titles in the 60s. So yeah, the syrup makers of Cairo is our mascot of the week.
So what does it
So
look like? I can't see it. What is it? What is it? Is it
you
like
know what? Let me see if I can pull it up here. I didn't even look. So let me see if I can
let
find something
me
here.
see.
See what
I'm
they
curious to
have.
what that would look like.
So let's see what their mascot
Because
looks like. So
if it's anything like the other ones.
actually it's interesting. So the side of their football helmets just says CHS, but it's kind of diamond shaped, I guess, like the C and H.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if that has to
Mm-hmm.
do with the symbol of the town. And their high school, their field looks really
Mm.
nice. Like they got a football field, all turf, and then next to it is their track.
Mm.
There is a picture of somebody, one of their logos that says CHS syrup makers underneath, and they have like a picture, and it looks like syrup's coming out covering the CHS. So
Gotcha.
logos, I'm not really seeing anything for a mascot or anything. It looks like it's pretty plain. Their colors are red, black, and white. So that's about all I got. Not much of it looks like they have one. It has for their basketball program. It has a picture with a C on it. And instead of syrup coming out of it, it's a bunch of basketballs. So
Yeah.
I'm assuming it's this pitcher pouring out syrup. They
Mm-hmm.
have like a little game shield. It has Cairo, and it looks like they have a horse-drawn carriage. I'm assuming for the cane fields that they
Mm-hmm.
had. But yeah, a lot of the stuff I'm seeing, it has this picture of this sticky goo coming out. Looks like so. That's the syrup makers. So, anything else you want to talk about before we get going? Before we end this up?
No, man, I think it was a good
Nah.
one, man. We talked a little bit about football and just excited about to see where this goes for the end of this football season, and then jump right into, grinding in basketball, and then see what we can do this year. The girls' goal is at Blue Mountain is to go ahead and make the tournament. We haven't been there in a while, and so it would be good for us to get there, and it'd be good for the program. I mean, obviously, it would help recruiting. I mean, we do good, we do okay, but it would also help a little bit more to make the tournament, because that's another thing that a lot of kids are looking for when, do you make the tournament? Because they want to get exposure, obviously, and at the tournament, you know, to get that.
Yeah. I also want to put out there, I want to thank listeners. So, uh, I've, it's been great. Listening ship's been kind of going up a little bit. I do want to give a shout out. I have now officially have outside of the United States, have 5 other countries with people who have listened to this podcast. So I want to give
That's
a
awesome.
thanks to everybody out there that's listening. Somebody from India, somebody from Ukraine. God bless you. People over in Ukraine, man. God bless you guys. The fact that you, out of whatever is going on in your world over there, the fact that somebody decided to listen to my podcast, it's great.
That's pretty cool.
Australia's popped up. Listened to 3 different episodes, or at least United Kingdom, and then I got a fan in Singapore that's listened to at least 26 episodes. So, and then the rest is coming
Good.
from the good US of A. One of some of the towns that have been hitting up: Arizona, California, obviously Idaho, Colorado, people up in Washington, Pasco area, Seattle area, out of Australia, Melbourne, Pendleton, Oregon, Austin, Texas, Nessa, Oregon, Yakima, Washington, Charlotte, North Carolina. There's another one, North Carolina, Black Mountain. Somebody out from Pennsylvania has hit me up. Atlanta, Georgia, Iowa, Montana's come in there, Hawaii. So a bunch. So I want to, everybody that's been listening, I want to say thank you. And I appreciate it for the follows. And stay tuned. Every Monday we've been releasing things I got coming up. We got a conversation with a former NFL agent and current coach at Prague for the Prague Lions. An
Ooh, I
assistant
want to
coach
be
over
involved
there.
in that one. I want to see. I want to see
That
if he knows
one
Jake.
is going to be, so I will contact you on that one. That will be on a Monday, and it's going to be, I'm hoping you can get there. It'll be like at 5. So I will talk to you later about that. And then I got one of my former players from high school. He's in the military in the Air Force, but he gets to coach his son and over there in Germany. So
Cool.
He's coaching over in Germany. So we're going to talk to him. And then a couple other ones, Proactive Coaching. If you've ever heard of Proactive Coaching, great program. Bruce Brown's like the one that started it.
100%.
Miller, Coach Miller is another one that's involved in that. So we're going to get to talk to Coach Miller. And then we got another guest who has another podcast that we're working out some details to get him on here in November. So a lot of things happening coming up. So again, I want to thank everybody. I want to thank Coach T for being on this, taking his time out to talk to me, and everybody take care of yourself. God bless you guys.
All right. Thanks for having